Hey, are you looking for the key to freedom? Are you looking for what can set you free in all of your relationships? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on Thoughts That Can Change Your Life. So sit back and let you and I have a conversation about that. Because I know that in relationships that I'm in, it's it was really painful when I had to try to please the other person. And I didn't know what I was trying to please. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. How do you feel about that? Are you in a relationship right now where you have expectations thrown at you and you have no idea what those expectations are? You have no idea how to meet them? I bet you do. I bet you do. So here's the thing that I've uncovered. This is what I've uncovered that really serves me. And I've been proving it over and over and over again. And that is you have an agreement in your relationship. And that agreement is simply this: you have to ask for what you want when you want it. Do you hear that? You have to ask for what you want when you want it. In other words, if my partner, Jean, or anyone that I have a relationship with, could be my sons, could be my granddaughter, I'm actually teaching my 3.5-year-old this, could be the people at Agape, could be my board of directors at Agape. We have an agreement. If they don't ask, I am not responsible. Not only if they don't ask, but I have to agree. If I agree, then I'm responsible. But if they don't ask, I have zero responsibility. I never, get this, gang, I am free to never, ever, ever have to try to read someone's mind. For me, that's freedom. It doesn't get any better than that. I can tell you that when we do in-person services at Agape, I tell the community in services, in classes, whatever I'm doing, if you don't ask, I don't know. I can't support you if you don't ask. It's that simple. So when people come up to me and says, well, why didn't you get in touch with me? You should have known I was doing this. I said, did you ask? Did you let me know? Well, no. I said, sorry, I'm not responsible. But you should have known, you're a minister. No. It's not even that you're a minister. You're a person. You can't read people's minds. And yet we're expected to do that. Well, if you love me, you should know what I want. You should know what I'm thinking. Kiss of death. Give it up. This is why so many men and women have trouble in relationships, is because they're constantly being asked to live up to an expectation they can't possibly live up to. You know what? Here's another good thing about that I'll share. I don't know what's going on in anyone's mind, and no one's what's going on in my mind. That's a good thing sometimes, because we all have craziness going in our mind, don't we? I do. I don't want some of my thoughts that I have going out into the universe. We're all human and we all have things entering in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. The person who becomes a master of their life is the one who communicates clearly and effectively. Hear that? Communicates clearly and effectively. So they let the people they're with know what are their expectations of them. What do they want when they want it? A person who doesn't know how to communicate doesn't do that. Doesn't do that at all. And then they wonder why the relationships are not what they dream. Their relationships are hard. Their relationships are difficult. I'll tell you what, my wife will come up to me and she'll say, hey, did you do that? And I said, did you ask? Well, no, you should have known. I said, sorry, we have an agreement. And she'll give me that look. But then she realizes we have an agreement. Thank you, Lori. Lori's doing some tree planting today. I'm doing a retreat. I don't know, we start at 9:30 today. So we've got an all-day retreat in my home. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be small. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be steeped in spiritual practice. So Moisey says, what if people's thoughts cross your mind? How? By our brains being antennas? Oh, that's pretty easy for me to explain. Now, I don't know that I'm right, but I'm going to give you what I think. One of the things that I teach is that there's an infinite. If there's an infinite, it means there's one mind. There's an infinite mind everywhere present. You and I are a point of consciousness within that mind. What is known in one part of the mind can be known in all parts of the mind. So a person can tap in and see what has happened. They can't go into the future. That's what a lot of say, go into the future. No, that doesn't happen. But you can go into the infinite mind for that. There's only one consciousness, and we're a part of it. We're all part of it. We just don't have our antennas tuned into a big enough frequency to be able to take in more information than that. So let me say good morning, Moises, Kavita, Merlinda, Lori, Richard, Annette. I can't scroll right now, but there are a bunch of you out there. Thank you for checking in. I love being able to see your names, because when I can see your names, I have an idea who I'm talking to. It makes it more of a conversation than me looking at myself in the screen and talking to myself. Although I do like talking to myself. Get that. All is mind, one mind, shared sea of consciousness. Yep. One of the favorite affirmations that I have is, there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. You could also change it. If you don't want to use the word God, it could be, there is one life. That life is infinite. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Whatever words work for you. That's one of the things we talk about at Agape. You find what works for you and you use it. There's no right or wrong in this world. You find out, what tools can I use that allow me to be a more conscious creator in my life, that allow me to expand and grow? That's the key thing. So Corey checked in and Deallen checked in. Thank you. Nicole's out there. No, Nicole's going to be snowboarding in Denver today. She is quite the athlete, that little lady. I love it. I love how people are different. You know, if we were all the same, what a bore. Moisey says, our awareness is our own. Our awareness is our own awareness. That's true. Our awareness can't be anything but our own, because we are an individualized point of consciousness. Bennett, you going through a breakup, bud? My thoughts and prayers are with you. It must mean that you and your partner that you're breaking up with are not a vibrational match. That's all it is. You're just on different frequencies. And you finally have made the decision that because you're on different frequencies, those frequencies are too far apart, that it's very difficult to be together. And when that happens, it's natural that you separate. People separate. Here's one of the things that I'll tell you. And Bennett, if I haven't said this to you, and if you haven't heard this before, I'm going to give it to you right now. Go buy the book, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's the best book written on self-love. Until you master that book, you're never going to have a really great relationship with anyone. You'll be fooling yourself just like most people do. And for all of you out there, you just heard me give Bennett some great advice. Could be for you too. It's one of the basic tenets of what we teach at Agape. If you don't self-love, you can't love another. And love means what, gang? You all should know this if you've been listening to me. Love means to accept. Means if I love myself, I accept myself just as I am. Ian says he bought the book last week and he loves it. Love it. Way to go, even. Kavita says, I can't find any man who matches my frequency, and I feel like I do the self-love practice. Well, Kavita, you may be so friggin' unique that the only man that you could ever meet that could please you is on the moon. Or maybe on Mars. I don't know. I'm playing with you, Kavita. What I'm going to tell you that if you're truly doing the practice and you're truly self-loving, when your inner knowing becomes available to that man, you'll attract him. Right now, you're so focused, I don't have a man, I don't have a man, I don't have a man, I don't have a man. That's a sign of desperation. And any man who is self-loving will not want to be with a person who is desperate. A man who is self-loving wants to be, or a woman who is self-loving, we can go either way. I'm not trying to make this one way or the other. But a person who is self-loving doesn't need anyone else. They don't need a relationship. But when the right frequency comes in, they welcome it. But if you feel you're not complete and you need this person, the universe says, oh, that's a needy person. Can't find a self-lover, because self-lovers don't look to the outside to have their needs fulfilled. Big discussion we're having here right now, because we've been fooled about what it's like to be in a relationship. We've been led astray. And I'm trying to straighten out the world. I changed my talk title that's on my YouTube channel from What is Agape, What is Love, to Is Love a Lie? Think about that. Is love a lie? The second phrase is debunking the myth of love. If you've not watched that talk, go to my YouTube channel, Wolak. Watch that talk. In fact, What is Love is the first chapter of my book that's going to be coming out within the next couple months. It was the most difficult chapter to write because it's completely different than what most people understand and most people teach. But I think I got it as good as I can get it. I've turned it over back to my editor so that they can get this book into published form. I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait for it to share it with you, because there's 16 chapters about the powers in you. Each chapter is a different power. Love it. And you know what? As I think about it, there are more than 16 powers, but I can't keep writing all the chapters. I got to sometimes put the lid on it and say, that's enough. This book is complete. Well, I've been talking for a while, haven't I? I want to thank you for being with me today. And I'm so grateful that you're in my life. Hey, if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, come to Agape tomorrow. Get a little in-person love. If you're not in Dallas, Fort Worth, watch online at 10:30. Got a service for you there as well. But you know what? No matter what, you're responsible for creating your perfect day. And I know you'll make it a great one. Everyone, I love you because I accept you just like you are. Until next time, aloha. The name of the book, Alonda, will be The Power in You, released in about 2 months.